Now, accountability, um, actors have to assume responsibility and accountability in their roles, environments, or context. You will have to be looking at these components: responsibility, who's going to be, in charge of the operations, who's going to be answerable for errors and damage, sanctionability, that as a matter of fact, we can sanction them. Now, in contrast to privacy, it's very clear that if you violate privacy, if you conceal, which is what happened to PhilHealth, no? Nag-conceal sila, sabi nila, ay, wala lang yan. It turned out na hindi nga totoo, na wala lang yan, no? Kasi yung unang press release, sinabi nila kaagad, ah, uh, hindi naman na-compromise yung aming original database, wala lang yan. Well, further investigation showed nung hindi na sila nag-respond sa malware, hindi sila nagbayad dun sa ransomware. It turned out na marami pala talagang personal data. So, sa privacy, you have clear levels of sanctions. No, I think that one would involve the field health violations, would involve millions of damages and imprisonment. So I heard that the CIO has suffered, stroke because of the experience, and people now in field health are kind of defensive. If you have if you have relatives in field health, they're very much on the defensive. So if you ask them questions, the response would be something like, talk to my lawyer. And the idea is they are highly sanctionable. When it comes to AI, the regulations have still to be put in place, because unlike privacy, where there is clear sanctions, in AI, not yet. So probably we should be rushing to put in the right sanctions now. So the next principle, the fifth principle, is transparency and explainability. Transparency of policies, rules, and regulations. It's indispensable to what we are as a society. There is a proposal from Europe. They have released, they have finalized a few weeks ago the text on AI Act, and the implementation is expected late 2025 to early 2026. There are pressures to rush this because there's just so much AI happening. And at least the Europeans, the people in Europe, they would need guidance. So these areas, interaction with humans, so we already do that to some respect. We interact with Netflix. You have Facebook, you have IG, you have TikTok. All these are platforms that use AI and interacting with humans. Used to detect emotions or determine association with social categories based on biometric data. You have this in some applications. Generating or manipulating content, we call deep fakes, synthetic media. I would have to be transparent that, as a matter of fact, I'm a user of synthetic media. There are many platforms out there. I'm trying out lately the video I just shared with you. I'm now in the midst of translating that to Filipino without having to redub in Filipino. And soon, I look forward to lecturing or to doing this online session with just a hologram. It's useful primarily because I'm not able to do by location. I cannot be in two places at the same time. And conflicts of schedule is unavoidable. No? So for that use, you can have synthetic media or so-called deep fakes. Now, of course, there's stigma to the word fake, but it could just be that you want to maximize your assets. For instance, you have a good voice, you are a celebrity, and somehow you want to perpetuate your work, your memory, through synthetic media, so that you can allow people, greater audience to enjoy your work. That's one use of synthetic media. But of course, there's downside. You can make Obama speak Trump. No, that's easy to do. You make Obama, talk or articulate Trump talking points. No, that's one. I suppose a bad use of synthetic media. No, so transparency requires that AI system has to be understandable even to non-technical stakeholders. Now that is a very serious proposal. Why? Because our population is not really AI literate. No? In contrast to Finland, where there's a very conscious effort to make their population AI literate. No? 10%. That's their minimum. So they have done massive campaign, massive instruction, massive training to make their population at least AI literate. Because if you are going to consume AI, you might as well understand what's going on. And that is part of transparency. It's hard to make this, development explainable to non-technical people, so much more to non-educated people. And note that the Philippines suffers very low reading proficiency. So, nasa mababa tayo sa ranking in terms of reading proficiency. And if you cannot read, you cannot do AI. Much more understand what's really going on with AI. So, you have to understand that, AI has to be explainable. No? That automated and algorithmic decisions, any associated data driving those decisions can be explained to end users and other stakeholders in non-technical terms. Much we're trying to do today. No? So if there is any technical term you've heard from me, please write via chat, and I'll try to explain myself as clearly as I can. No? So there are still issues around this area because it's fine and dandy. You tell people that you aspire to be transparent and make your AI explainable. On the other hand, AI itself escapes explainability from the very people creating AI. So even AI engineers are unable to explain the mechanism in generative AI. So pag tinanong mo yung ChatGPT engineers, bakit ganito, lumabas ang ganyan, good luck. There is an amount of black boxiness of AI systems, especially in their present iteration in terms of generative AI such as Bard, ChatGPT, Claude. And the idea is even made worse by having trillions of parameters. Trillions of parameters being used to produce certain output, and that is not easily to track. That is not easily tracked, rather. Nonlinear models make extremely challenging the mapping of relationship between input features and output predictions. Am I understood so far? Chester, Chito, Christopher? I'm a teacher, so in my face-to-face classes, it's always like, I go around, I practice peripatetic pedagogy. Kamusta ka na? Malapit na. Lumalapit ako sa kanila, sa mga estudyante ko. But somehow, of course, I cannot do that here. So, at least show some sign of life, that you are not a robot. Or you are, in fact, real. Hi, Ma'am Joy, Lelaine, ICCLSU, Ryan. So let me know if you have any concerns. So far so clear, according to John. Thank you, John, for the feedback. Okay, so Six principle. So we have five principles so far articulated, collapsed, uh, compressed from the OECD guidelines. And I'm saying that we need additional principle to make this work, especially in the Philippines. No, for one, transparency is good, but you have to contend with the fact that even as the governments, many governments, most governments in the world have become more transparent, they have not necessarily become more trustworthy. So there is a disconnect between transparency and trustworthiness. So kahit yung kasama mo open book, no? He or she is not necessarily trustworthy for you. Same with AI. AI developers can be transparent, can be accountable, but people do not necessarily trust them. So trust is a distinct principle. It's something that we can develop, no, as a people, that we become more trustworthy, trusting rather to our AI, for AI developers, because they cannot thrive if regulators would keep on breathing down their neck at every turn. You need them to have some space to develop their ideas, to develop their applications. No, they need some peace and quiet, and that requires trust. No, we will be funneling money, will be moving money towards their direction, and if it's going to be, auditing, nickel and diming them. There's an expression for by Americans, nickel and diming, meaning titingin mo kasi you don't trust. Then you don't trust them. Then it's going to be counterproductive in the mid to long run, no, even in the short run, especially. No? So there has to be some kind of faith in what they do. There are regulations that will provide oversight, overwatch in this area. There will be mechanisms to ensure safety, security, robustness, fairness, transparency, and other required attributes. Otherwise, we just have to trust them.